Ash, really good to see you. Thank you for having us here at Spurs Lodge. It's great. I feel like we've crashed someone's living room. It's really comfy.
It's really nice in here. It'd be nice for it to be like my home.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind living here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being awarded Player of the Month. The first Spurs player to ever win this award. I mean, what does this mean to you? This is bragging rights in the dressing room, if nothing else.
Yeah, I didn't know until I got the call last week to say, obviously, congratulations, I'd kind of won the award, and then I got told that as a player I'd made history being the first one. So obviously it's nice for me, but it's also great for the team. It kind of shows kind of how far we've come, and I'm obviously proud of myself for getting it, but I couldn't have done it without the girls as well.
Oh, that's nice. Humble.
Yeah.
The team's form has been very good in February, back-to-back wins in the WSL. How does it feel at this moment to be part of this dressing room?
Oh, it's amazing. I think looking back, we've kind of come a long way, and to get the 2 wins after a kind of tough start after Christmas was kind of what we kind of wanted to do as a team, and it's kind of boosted us up to 3rd in the league, and it's only a positive for all of us.
Back-to-back clean sheets as well. As a defender, is that something that really excites you?
Oh yeah, I love obviously getting a clean sheet, but I also like scoring as well, so a bit of both has kind of worked well this month, and I've scored 2 and obviously kept 2 clean sheets, so it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I call you a defender, but looking at some of the goals that you scored in February, 2 goals for yourself, first 2 goals of the season, some of those were taken like a striker. I mean, particularly the one against Birmingham, where you reacted to the ball kind of bobbling around the box, first to react, back of the net.
I just feel like we always do that in training. It's kind of quick reactions, whether that's defending or attacking, and it kind of just fell to me in the right place, and I was taking it instead of Ria because I knew she was there trying to get it as well. So it's nice to get obviously 2 goals in 2.
Yeah, and the goal against Brighton again, I think it was Ria Percival, wasn't it, on the left, played you in. It's you as a defender, although you were playing on the right wing in that game, charging through the middle, furthest forward.
I was kind of a bit nervous when I saw her, and I saw that I was through. I was thinking, don't mess this up, and I managed to kind of keep my composure and put it in the back of the net. So yeah, it was a great feeling.
And that must have been a nice goal for you as well, because you had a lot going on off the pitch before that match with your granddad passing away.
Yeah, so I found out kind of that morning. Sorry. And I didn't want to tell Rianne because I didn't want it to kind of affect her kind of judgment of whether I could kind of perform kind of that day. So yeah, it meant a lot.
Do you want to take a moment?
No, it's fine. Yeah, thank you.
You sure?
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us, because I think, you know, there was people that didn't realise what you were going through, but you were still able to perform to such a high level. So testament to you.
It was great. Thank you.
I want to look at Spurs' defensive record this season. Just 11 goals conceded in the WSL. Only Arsenal and Chelsea have conceded fewer. Has that been an aim of this team, to shore themselves up defensively?
Yeah, I think we know if we can kind of shut up and keep that to a minimum, if not to kind of, like you say, a clean sheet, then we take our chances going forward. We're in the best possible place to take as many points as we can off teams. So we've worked on it and kind of want to be the hardest working team, and I kind of think that's proven with, like you say, the goals that we've kind of lack of conceded, I suppose.
Was that something that Rianne Skinner brought in when she came in and brought the coaching staff in? Was that one of her big aims? Yeah,
I think it's always a big thing for us. Obviously, you can see goals, you've kind of got to get yourself back into the game. It makes it harder. So if we can kind of do our defensive duties back there, then it kind of gives the strikers their chance to take their goals and kind of give us the points.
And are you the type of defender that, you know, when you block a shot or you earn a clean sheet, you're like high-fiving all your other players or all your teammates?
Yeah, it's obviously it's a massive thing to kind of keep the ball out of the back of the net. So for me, if I'm making that last-ditch tackle and I know it's stopping someone from scoring, it's a great feeling. Or if someone else is doing, like you say, we're going around and we're congratulating each other, whether that's the keeper that's made a great save or a defender that's put in a block or a tackle.
Now, I've mentioned Spurs' brilliant form this season. You're currently 3rd. You're in that final Champions League spot. You've won more games at this point in the season than the entirety of last season. You've beaten last season's points tally already. Yeah. How has this happened? Do you feel as though people underestimated Spurs this season? Yeah,
I think when we spoke at the start of the season, we were kind of knowing that people were going to call us the underdogs, and as obviously we've slowly gone through this first half of the season, we've kind of built our way up the table, and we still know that people still don't expect us to be up there and might say, oh, it's a bit of luck here from that game or this game. But I think we know behind the scenes the kind of hard work and the commitment that goes in and the quality we have, so we just keep pushing, and we know within our group that we're good enough. So if that's what people think, then that's their opinion, and we'll just keep keep pushing away.
What is that hard work that goes into it? What is it that people don't see that you're doing to enable these results?
I think just being hard to break down and kind of the game plans that go in and the effort that goes in behind the scenes to make sure that everyone knows what the game plan is for the team that we're playing in the upcoming week, because each team is different. And as long as we stick to that game plan and trust Rhiannon and the staff doing that to obviously get us in the best possible place to get the points. And I think that's what the girls have done. They've believed in that and it's shown on the pitch.
So you're in the third Champions League spot. It's tight, isn't it? It's probably going to go down to the last few games of the season.
Yeah.
Are you able to enjoy it? Is it nerve-wracking? Is it pressure? How does it feel?
I think we know that being higher in the table always brings bigger pressures, whether that's being on Sky more and more fans coming to games. We've had that conversation as a team and how we kind of deal with that and had help with how we deal with it. And hopefully that can kind of only spur us on more to kind of get more points and stay up within that fight for that third place.
Now that you're in third, and perhaps, you know, even the players themselves, the coaching staff didn't expect to be where you are right now, but now that you're here, if you don't qualify for the Champions League, does that mean this season hasn't been a success?
No, I don't think that's a thing that we've been looking at. Obviously, we want to get into that third place and we feel like we're good enough to be there and we'll keep fighting to be there. But if we don't get it, then maybe we look back and reflect on the reasons why and we kind of push for it again next year. But like you say, we've already kind of beaten our total from last season, so that's already a positive ticked off. And if we can push for Champions League, that's even better. Now,
the club has been on an incredible rise over the last few seasons. 6 seasons ago, Spurs were in the third tier, and now, if you look at where they are, third in the elite at the elite level of the women's game. It's been an incredible rise, not just the team and the players and the coaching staff, but also the facilities that the club has available to them.
Oh yeah, it's next level. Obviously, when I first came here, we were playing at Cheshunt in front of like 50 people, and now we're playing in stadiums in front of thousands and thousands. And it's what you dream as a football player. But it's only thanks to kind of the hard work of the girls back then that kind of helped with promotion and going through, and obviously the backing from the men's side to kind of make that possible to have the best facilities that we can to perform at the best level that we can.
Yeah, you've played at the London Stadium, haven't you? At Stamford Bridge. Yeah. I know you've got a game coming up this month at the Emirates as well. What's it like playing in those massive stadiums? Yeah,
it's great. I think obviously there's a lot more fans and the noise is a lot louder and you can hear Rhiannon a lot less on the side, so you've kind of got to get through the game as best as you can. But it's only a positive for us as a club, but obviously for women's football, the way it's going, and it can only go one way, and that's forward.
You mentioned Rhiannon talking on the sideline there. What kind of manager is she? Like, how would you describe her?
She's just great. I think she just brings a positive vibe, so there's no negativity. It's like, I understand people are going to make mistakes and I don't care what mistake you make, it's your reaction after it. And that's always kind of stuck with me, because before I've always been worried to make mistakes and feel that if I've made one, then I'm not good enough and I'm going to be taken off, or I might not start the next game or something along those lines. But I feel like she's very positive and understands that we don't always get it right, and it's just kind of how we react from there on, and it's great for us as a team.
It seems that it's rubbing off on you, because I've been looking at your stats this season, which are amazing, by the way. You have won the ball back for your team via interception or via a tackle more times than any other player in the WSL. Is this the best season you've ever had?
I think so, yeah. I think I'd look back on other seasons and think I had a great season. Like the first season I was here, I won Player of the Season from obviously the fans and the girls, and that was great. And then I've kind of grown even more being like now at a professional level, and I think this is by far the best season that I've had, which is great.
You're really enjoying yourself, aren't you? I can tell you. I can tell.
I am. Like, it's the team, the staff, the facilities, like everything. Like it's just great, and yeah, I couldn't ask for any more, really.
Are you trying to add other aspects to your game as well?
Yeah, so obviously now I've been playing a little bit further up the pitch, which is a bit of a shock for me, but I trust in what Rhiannon kind of says to me, and I just want to work a bit more on that now in case it happens again, and I can only do my best for the team if I know the information that I need to play in that position, which is obviously been on the right wing at the moment. So that's something that I can add going further and higher up the pitch and add in hopefully more goals to the team.
So are you a defender?
I'd like to think so, yes. I love playing in defence and having the ball in front of me and kind of organising from the back, but if I'm asked to play there, I'm always happy to do a job and do what's best for the team.
Earlier in your career, were you playing further forward on the pitch? You were more of an attacker, weren't you?
Yeah, so when I first started, I was a striker, and then I kind of moved into like a 10 role and out then to the wing. And the only reason I went to fullback is because the fullback got injured in a game and I kind of sat in, and then I never went back to a winger. So that's probably 9-10 years ago now that I kind of filled in at right back, and that was it, stuck, and I've enjoyed playing there and it's been great.
Well, Becky Spencer better watch out, you'll be in goal next.
I feel like you only go backwards, yeah, so I wouldn't mind a going goal.
Good stuff. Actually, I'm really interested in how you actually got involved in football. What's your earliest footballing memories? I mean, how did it start for you?
So yeah, I was probably about 5 or 6 when my mum took me down to Saturday morning boys/girls, I suppose, like training session where they'd do like a tournament and then a penalty shootout at the end. And I just went there and kind of got told by a few of the coaches, like, have you ever thought about going into a team? So I obviously played back then in a mixed team for a little while, and then I moved when I was too old to play in a mixed team to a girls team, Park Hill. And then from there I moved to West Brom, went through kind of the academy there. But yeah, that was kind of it. Started from a very young age, and my mum spent a lot of time ferrying me back and forth, week in, week out to training.
Yeah, that sounds familiar for a lot of footballers.
Yeah.
My mum was the same, carting me up and down the country so I could make it to training. Tell me about your experience at West Brom and playing in the structure of a team like that.
So yeah, it was good. I went through from like under 12s all the way through to first team, and kind of went into the first team at quite a young age. It was quite a nice experience to kind of be in and around the older players that have been there a while, and then I felt like I fitted in quite well. And I don't think it took me long before I was kind of in and around playing in the first team. And spent quite a few years there from up until I was about 20. Okay. So probably about 10 years, yeah, there.
Long time.
Yeah, it was.
I taught you everything you knew.
Yeah, a club that's really close to my heart. It's kind of where I was born. So yeah, it was great to be playing for that team.
And then you moved to Coventry, is that right? And Coventry were actually one of Spurs' big rivals back when Spurs were in the 3rd division.
Yeah, which at the time I didn't know. Obviously, Coventry was quite close to where I lived in West Brom. They were at the time in a better division than West Brom, so I thought, right, let me go and see how it is. And I went there and I was there for like 4 seasons, like you say, then playing against Spurs. And then, yeah, I made the move to Spurs 4 years later. What
was it about Spurs? Why did you move to that club?
I had a phone call off Karen and kind of said that they were interested in me, and that if I came down and looked at the facilities and had a little chat, then we could kind of go from there. And I remember driving down and coming and meeting Karen here at Hotspur Way, and the facilities were just incredible. And I just thought to myself, at the age of kind of, I think I was 24 then, if I don't give it a chance now in the 2nd tier, which was WSL 2 then, I don't know if I'm ever going to get another chance. And it was a hard decision in the sense of a lot of travelling for me from Birmingham back and forth for training.
Birmingham to London?
Yeah, after I'd worked all day in school, through rush hour traffic. It was hard and it was long and tiring, but I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't have done that, I don't think. So it kind of paid off for me, and it was a great move.
Did you ever think, this is too much?
I honestly didn't. I think I said to my mum, because obviously I was living at home at that time, that I'd give it like a season and see how I felt after that. And after that season, I didn't even think about it. It was just and then the 2nd year we got promoted, so it was kind of, now what do I do? Because we're going to be a full-time team, and I can't be travelling from Birmingham 5 times a week. So then obviously I moved a little bit closer.
Good. So you got a bit more time to yourself and spend with your family now?
Yeah, so I'm not too close to this, but I'm not too far away from home as well, so it kind of works well. Obviously being quite home kind of based with family, it's quite nice to be able to do both.
And how did you find that transition from becoming a part-time player to a full-time professional player? Yeah,
to start off with, it was really hard. My body hit my body really hard. Like
injuries and things?
Just the first 3 weeks, my body was in bits.
Really?
Going from, like you say, I was only trained 2 nights because of the distance for like 2 hours, to then training. It was still 2 hours, but then 5 times a week as well as gym. And the gym was a lot more intense than it was when we did it at part-time, just due to timings, because we'd finish pitch at like 9, and then to do gym before travelling home was quite a lot. So yeah, body-wise, physically, it was a massive change for me.
And you were a primary school teacher, weren't you? You were working as a PE teacher. Was it difficult to leave the day job when you decided to choose football?
Yeah, it was, because I'd been there for a good couple of years and made a lot of friends there, as well as like a lot of bonding with the kids that I work with, especially the kind of behavioural kids and the SEN kids. So yeah, it was hard in the sense of to leave that, but it was never in the back of my mind that I was ever going to have to choose. It was always going to be football.
What is it that drives you as a footballer?
I think it's just always been a dream from when I was little, and when I was younger, it was never a possibility for women footballers to be professional. I always wanted to play for England and always play at the highest level, and I'm living that dream. So I just want to come here every day. I'm happy being in at training. I love it in and around the girls and the staff, and there's no better place to be when you enjoy your job. Like, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. There's such a smile on your face throughout the whole way, pretty much, this interview. It just seems that you have lived out your dream and you're just where you need to be.
Exactly where I want to be, and I just feel that it shows that the girls that are in and around like younger ages now that it is possible, and as long as you work hard and kind of are committed to it, that anything's possible to be here.
Do you view yourself as a role model then?
Personally, no, but then I do have a lot of fans that kind of come to me after games that have got girls and ask me questions about how can I help them do this or how can I help them do that. And then it kind of hits home that a lot of girls look up to us as professional footballers, and it's a great feeling to know that if we can have an impact on them, and it's only going to get better in the game, and when we leave it behind, when we kind of hang our boots up, that it's in the best possible place for the younger girls coming through.
Now, you've had a lot going on off the pitch recently, all happy things,
Yeah.
which has been great. Got married, didn't you?
We did, yeah.
And your partner had a baby, so you now have got 2 children in the household that you're looking after. Things must be very busy for you.
Yeah, I feel like I get up at probably about 6 o'clock and I don't sit down until 7 when they're both in bed, if I'm lucky that the little one goes to bed at 7. But to be fair, like, Lizzie's great. We work really good as a team. So I couldn't ask for much more there, and I enjoy it, to be fair. It is very busy, and when it comes 7 o'clock, I'm on the sofa nearly asleep, which is not great for a 28-year-old, but I wouldn't have it any other way, if I'm honest.
And home life, I think, when home life is happy and relaxed, it translates to you being a better footballer.
Yeah, and that's always been what Rianne said. If people are happy at home, they're happy at football, and if we can keep that balance as the best we can, then it'll only be better on the pitch for us as players.
And do you think you've got any budding footballers amongst your children at the moment? I know baby Remy's only a year old, but still.
Yeah, no, she obviously likes touching the badge. I don't know if it's just the feel of it, but whenever I go home and got my training kit on constantly, she's touching it, which is cute. Blake likes football, but it's not a massive priority to him at the minute. But he's only 5 at the minute, nearly 6, so he's just kind of getting to grips with what he likes. I would never push either of them to play, but if either of them want to, then I'm obviously there to support them.
And your partner must be very supportive and must be, proud that you're winning Player of the Match awards and also Player of the Month.
Yeah, she can't wait for it to come out, and so everyone knows, 'cause obviously at the moment it's kind of on a bit of a down low, and it'll take pride place on the windowsill with my other 2 trophies. So yeah, she's really happy for me.
And your family, how do they react to your success?
My mum's always texting me, telling me how good I am and that she's so proud of me, and it's always been that way since day one, really, whereas my dad's been a bit more of the critical one, and my mum, I think my mum just loves me being kind of the professional footballer that I am, and kind of gets to as many games as she can. So as a family, I've got my sisters that support me as well. I get them all sending me selfies in their shirts with my name on the back, which is quite cool. So yeah, it's really nice.
Now, I think that, there aren't many footballers in the WSL that are also mothers. I think you're one of only perhaps 2.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why are there so few?
I think it's quite difficult. Obviously, I wasn't the one who gave birth to Remy, so it's a little bit easier for me in that sense. I don't physically have to deal with coming back, which is hard for anyone. I think the changes that a body goes through when giving birth is massive. So that could be one of the reasons in that sense, that at such a high level to have so much time off and kind of come back would be hard. But I just think maybe it's the kind of support from whether it's the club or the FA or the maternity kind of situation that hasn't been within contracts and at its best. And obviously now there's been a change, and hopefully we're going to see more girls or women kind of having children, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be that it's an after career thing and it's not possible before now.
Yeah, it feels like it's much more normalised in, say, America, in the NWSL, where many of the players have children and bring their children to games and things like that. What did you make of the changes to maternity leave for player contracts?
I think it's great. I'm hoping that now that that's happened, that more people will think about having children. Like you say, in America, it's massive. You see I see loads of pictures like Alex Morgan and her.
She was here, wasn't she?
Yeah, like with her, with Charlie, and at games, and there's a group of them that have got kids, and I would love nothing more than that to happen here with kind of Remy and a few of the other girls having them. But it's just a great atmosphere. Like Remy comes in and the girls love her. So if we could have more players that do that, then it'd be great.
That would be great. Have you thought about life after football? Not to retire you, and I know you're not that old either.
Yeah,
no, you're 29 in a few months, so that's not old at all. But are you at a stage of your career where you have to think about life after football?
Yeah, I think definitely. Obviously, it doesn't last forever being a footballer, unfortunately, and there is going to be some point where I think my body's going to give up on me with what we put it through each week. I think if I was to say now, I'd probably want to go back into schools, whether that was doing sports side and PE side, or whether that was kind of working with the less disadvantaged children and that. But it's something that I do miss, so I think if it was possible after, then that would definitely be something that I would want to go back to.
So coaching younger children?
Yeah, whether it's football or kind of any sort of sports, I think I just have a real good connection with kids, and it makes me happy, so that's where I want to be.
So let's talk about the matches coming up in March, because it's a pretty packed schedule and you're playing some top teams. You've got City, you've got Chelsea, you've got Arsenal. You play Reading first. Let's start with Reading. Those are the kind of matches that you need to be winning if you're thinking about Champions League qualification, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, it's teams in and around or just below us that kind of anything can happen, but those games are a must-win for us. It's going to be a hard game for us. We've kind of been working on it over the last couple of weeks, and it was a tight win last time at home with a 1-0. So it's going to be a really good game. They're a good team, but yeah, we kind of need to take the points to kind of stay within the title race.
And then 3 games against 3 of the biggest teams in the league. Do you look at that fixture schedule and think, oh, I'm up for this? Or is it like, oh, no?
No, I think we look at it, like, we've obviously had good results against those clubs before, obviously beating Man City and drawing with Arsenal. We obviously yet haven't played Chelsea, so that'll be an interesting one. Obviously, it's a different setup in game-wise compared to Reading, but the girls will kind of work hard in training, and we'll kind of look at the tactics and what's set by Rianne and the team, and we will do our best, obviously, as we do in every game, to get the best possible results out of those.
Looking at those 3 fixtures in particular, though, that could make or break your season in terms of trying to qualify for the Champions League, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough month, and we can only take one game at a time, so we'll sort Reading first and then we'll move on to the next one. And obviously we've kind of kept our run at home, unbeaten at home still, so Man City are up next, so they've got to come to us with that. And obviously we beat them at their place, so they're going to be up for a game, so it's going to be a good game. But we just go 1 week at a time, and we'll do what we can to get the points on the board. Ashleigh,
it's been such a pleasure to watch you play so far this season. Best of luck for everything else, and good luck for March.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Getting you closer to the Barclays FA Women's Super League on Sky Sports.